Okay, so this is part two of a large record collection, somewhere between 300 and 400 albums that I picked up. Part one will be linked in here somewhere. I'll figure that out. There's probably a link I'll put to like all my vinyl finds because there's some pretty good stuff in there you might want to check out. Yeah, not going to do intros or anything like that. Just get straight into it. Enjoy. Okay, so this is part two of two videos. I recently bought a collection of like, I don't know, it's over 300, probably not quite 400 records. I didn't do a full count. I'm just didn't bother. If you go to the part one of the video, I'll explain how I came about getting it all. I had to break it up into two because the first one ran like 15-20 minutes and I don't like going over 20 minutes on my videos. So I broke it up and yeah, let's just get into it because the records on this, it's a good collection. It's not like super crazy rare, but there's some pretty hard to find stuff in here. It's a good mix of soul, punk, early R&B, psychedelic music, lots of psychedelic music, lots of garage bands from the 60s in there. Yeah, like check out the first one and then yeah, continue watching here. So if you've never seen any of my videos, they're super low quality and I say a lot, so get ready. Here we go. So Descendants, I'm pretty sure that this is I can't remember if it's the first or second pressing. Anyways, I know this record because it was purchased at my store. Quite a few of these have been purchased at my store, and this is a regular customer that I know, and they called me up because they were thinning out their collection. Again, I go into more detail in the first video, check that out. But yeah, great punk rock there. Some really sort of, if you're looking for like groovy organ sounds, Dave Baby Cortez. There's another one. This is earlier. This is on the chest label. Just like I said, really good groovy sort of organ type stuff. Dave Clark 5 and the playbacks. It's like a split. Dave Clark 5, Dave Clark 5. Miles Davis Bitches Brew. I don't think it's a first pressing. It's certainly a 70s pressing, if not first, round about midnight. Now this one is, I think, first. It's Columbia 6i either way, and it is USA. Again, I am located in Canada, so a lot of these are going to be Canadian pressings, but there's also some American ones on here. Such a good record. Oh my god, if you don't own this, like, hunt someone down and buy it off them, because it's one of the best. Like, I collect black cinema soundtracks, and this is one of the, like, it's essential. Like, you need this and Trouble Man by Marvin Gaye, although the Trouble Man will probably give you trouble finding it. See what I did there? I'm not funny. So it's a die cut cover, which was the original one, so that's nice. Oh, again, just like what can you say about Hawkwind, except like everybody should own some Hawkwind, and Space Ritual is probably the one you should own. You can hear the Lemmy bass lines in here, which are just awesome, but it is like space rock, like so good. More Hawkwind, the die cut cover, some sort of great groove-ridden, garagey, hard, fuzzed out stuff from the Electric Prunes. I think it's a mono pressing. Songs of Leonard Cohen. And then, yeah, some Dylan, Nashville Skyline. This, I think, is a UK pressing, I want to say. I remember looking at it. Yeah, made in England. Dylan's bringing it all back home. Highway 61. A first Canadian on Decca of the Who Sings My Generation. REM eponymous. The Stooges. I mean, it's like Raw Power is one of the best punk albums you can ever own. And that does look like certainly a first Canadian pressing. Bo Diddley. There's some good Bo Diddley in here too, quite a bit. The Doors Full Circle. This is the one that went, I think this was the second record, the last record they made, they released without Jim Morrison on there, but it's got a really cool sort of pop out, I think they call it a zeotrope, like cover thingy on there, which is kind of cool to have it. The First Doors record, Patty Drew working on a groovy thing. I'll buy anything that says groovy on it. I'm just a sucker for that. There is some really good jazz in this collection too. So you've got this one is Sonny Stitt, Diz, and Stan Getz on Verve. Diz at Newport. This one is Dizzy Gillespie, which it is a really rare record, but I don't know if I would have paid $96 for it back in the day. But this guy did. Well, I don't know if he did or if he didn't, but that's stuck on there, so I'm going to have to work to get that off. Little hint on that, take the record out, get a hair dryer on low heat, and put it over top, and not all, but several of your price stickers will just sort of eventually pop off. You have to be patient about it. Don't get in there and start scraping because you'll just ruin the cover. The Routers play Chuck Berry's song book. This one, the Routers, I haven't like specifically looked into it, but I'm like 90% sure that probably the Routers was one of those many bands that was essentially the Wrecking Crew. You know, the guys who recorded Pet Sounds, played on Pet Sounds, and many, many others. They were part of Phil Spector's Wall of Sound. They went on and did tons and tons of, especially for instrumental and surf and stuff, which is what the Routers were. They ended up being the studio musicians 90% of the time. I'm not 100% on that, but I think so. More punk, Gorilla Biscuits, more Diz, Ahmad Jamal, Jan and Dean and the Satellites. I don't know why they split that one up. Jefferson Airplane, this is Takes Off. This is pre-Grace Slick. Joan Jett, Bad Reputation. Joan Jett, I Love Rock and Roll. There's some country. Waylon Jennings. There is a few country pieces in here, but nothing exceptional. Elton John, Blue Moves. This is a UK pressing, I believe. Caribou. Quincy Jones, there you go. Totally blanked out. I'm 53, so I'm allowed to have a few senior moments. Go West, Young Man. A little bit of hip-hop in this, too. This is the Jones and Crew, part of, it's on Tommy Boy, even though it's in a Sugar Hill sleeve there. The Kingsmen, King Crimson. This is the Lizard one. It's got a nice hype sticker on there. I don't know if that's Canadian or what that is. Let's have to see. Jack Kingston. He was a Canadian sort of country or almost rockabilly type guy. So that's nice in there. In the Wake of Poseidon. Martin Luther King. I Have a Dream. I've had this a couple of times. It's great to throw on once in a while. You just remember what it's all about. That's the Kisses Gene Simmons. There's another diddly on Checkers. The Mighty Groundhogs, like proggy British stuff. That one actually I think has a comic book fold out. The Guess Who, another The Guess Who, Woody Guthrie tribute. Bill Haley, Rock Around the Clock in the Comets. Yeah, that is on Canadian Decca, so that's probably a first pressing. Merle, more Bill Haley. Herbie Hancock's Future Shock, The Happy Flowers, Happy Mondays, George Harrison, Ella, more Ella. God bless Ella. There's lots of Ella in here. Oh man, no, this was the soundtrack to Let No Man Write My Epitaph. She was in quite a few good movies. So if you get it, here's the other one I think she was in. This was Pete Kelly's Blues. If you're like a jazz aficionado, check out Pete Kelly's Blues because it's a great jazz record. Film. The Flamingos. So again, I mentioned it in the other one. These R&B records, sorry, I'm having a bit of trouble here. These R&B records were like gold back in the day. Like this was a wall record. You put it up on the wall, or it was on the wall when you went to the record store with a stupid price tag in it. Sadly, that stuff has started to come down, but I still love picking it up whenever I can. The Kiln House, Fleetwood Mac. I think this is post Pete Green, but obviously before Nix and Buckingham joined. I can't remember exactly the lineup, but Four Tops, Fraternity of Man, which is like a great piece of psychedelic music, Freddie and the Dreamers, Jerry and the Pacemakers, Stan Getz, more Diz. Actually, that's a later Diz. That's kind of cool. Did I miss one there? No, that's it. Oh, the Hawk, Ronnie Hawkins. I actually picked up one of these a little while back, and it went straight into my collection, so it's nice to be able to offer this. This is Morton Subotnick. If you're into like electronic music and like weird avant-garde like composers and stuff like this, this is a good one. It's, you can just tell by the name, A Sky of Cloudless Sulfur and After the Butterfly. You got to know some weird stuff's going on. Butterfly Blues Band, Blue Cheer, Beatles Past Masters, more Ronnie Hawkins, Roy Head, Jimi Hendrix, and more Ronnie Hawkins. I'm going to have to readjust here, so I will just pause this for a second. Et voila, through the magic of editing or whatever, I'm back to the other side. And I know you were all looking at this Tom Waits. It's first Canadian pressing of Closing Time, the Undertones, the incredible string band, which is, this is one of the most like best psychedelic covers that was ever made. It's like folk psych. I'm sure most people are familiar with it. Descendants, again, this one was bought at my store when I got a bunch of punk early Descendants stuff in. So yeah, this one came back to me. Innovation. It's on the Birchmount label, which is a Canadian label. It doesn't look like much, but, and I haven't listened to it, I'm not going to lie, but I've had it before, and it is supposed to be some pretty sort of good sunshine, folk, pop, psychedelic stuff, like psych, pop psych. There you go. Here's another one that's kind of weird electronic sort of stuff. It's the Il Gruppo, and it's the Private Sea of Dreams. It's a great cover, great name for everything. It's like kind of ambient-y electronic stuff from the 1960s. So check it out. Ian and Sylvia, For Strong Winds, great folk. Ian Sylvia's first one on Vanguard. Willie Hutch, I've had this before. It's a nice piece of sort of bluesy funk. The Hullablues, like I don't know. Like, I think I would wear my hair like that if I had any. And if you watch the intro, you know, sadly, I don't have hair anymore. Cisco Houston sings the song of Woody Guthrie. Cisco and Woody were like contemporaries, did a lot of stuff together. If you're really into early folk music, American folk music, Cisco Houston is one to check out. This is the only reissue in this. This is John Lee Hooker. It's a 180 gram reissue on, oh, I don't know what label that is. What label is that? I'm not familiar with that label. Pan Am? But it's John Lee Hooker Blue, Lightning Hopkins, Buddy Holly, Clarence Henry on Argo, Jimi Hendrix again. This is with the one with Curtis Knight, Day Tripper, Richie Havens, George Harrison, DeBeus. Boy, is that the... Oh, it is the Everly Brothers. Okay, I don't know. Again, senior moment. Faces, Long Player, Duke Ellington. Sorry, the camera work is going bad. It's always going bad. More Duke Ellington. Roy Eldridge, great jazz trumpet. Dr. John. Jethro Tull's Heavy Horses. Another early Diz on the Allegro record. Nikki Giovanni. So I don't know Nikki's music so much. I actually know her poetry more than the music, so I might actually check that one out. Dizzy Gillespie's Burke's Works. Glitten or Glitter? Yeah, Glitter House. Colorblind. I don't know anything about that. Although, you know what? I think I have come across it before. So maybe I should spend some time listening. Grand Funk. It's the actual like coin cover, which is kind of neat. Best of the Goons Show, which has Peter Sellers in it, which is amazing. Spike Milligan. Some J5. That's the actual die cut cover, which is cool. Some more J5. Diana Ross Presents the Jacksons. There's a bunch of wings at the end here. McCartney. Wings, Band on the Run, Venus and Mars, Don McLean. That's Brownie McGee's Brownie's Blues, Jimmy McGriff, Fly Dude, Mel and Tim, Strange Night Voyage, which is The Merchants of Dreams, which is sort of psychedelia, I guess. The Mersey Beats, again, it's on that Canadian Arc label, so the Mersey Beats were probably just a studio band. But usually some of these are really good, especially the ones that sort of lean towards psychedelic music. Good fuzzed out studio musicians. Alice Cooper, and it is the notorious thumb cover. That's definitely a thumb, Facebook, so don't, cancel this one. Neil Young's Comes a Time, and here's some more. There's a couple there. This is the original Surfer Stomp, and again, probably studio musicians, and more than likely it was done by the Wrecking Crew. I'd have to look into that. George Duke, it's kind of like proggy fusion, jazz, funk, I don't know, yeah. More of that instrumental stuff, the T-Bones, Neil Young, and sweet Kate Bush. Okay, so that is it. And as I mentioned, this is only the second part, or it is the second part of two, not only. There is another one where I have even more records than this in the first one. So it is about probably, like I said, somewhere between 300 and 400 records that I was allowed to pick out of this collection that the collector was just thinning out, which is something I probably should do with my own record collection because it is getting out of hand. And so, yeah, that's it. Like I said, nothing like crazy rare, but getting collections like this now is harder and harder, and I am very thankful that the guy called me, because there's lots of people out there now looking for this stuff. So, yeah, caveat, I guess I should put in here, this stuff won't be coming out into the store probably for, I don't know, a week or two. I do post up on YouTube here as well the This Just In videos, and that's the stuff that's coming into the store new. Well, not new, obviously, they're all vintage pressings each week. So you might want to check those out. I'll put a link to the first video in here down below somewhere in the description, I think it is, and I will also put a link to the vinyl playlist that I have of all the different vinyl finds over the last year or so that I've been on YouTube. Yeah, so you might want to check those out too. All right, hope you're able to get some good stuff. Bye.